picture will come up here, also a little bit about the case, and then someone from Lavonner will be here, someone from the Child Protection Services, from the PD, from youth court prosecutors, everyone's sitting around the table, and we're all talking about, okay, this one, they went to counseling here, they have medical here, PD may have arrested someone, this person's in counseling, what is going on, what does the child need? So we're making sure the wraparound services are complete, and that's what we do with our monthly meeting. So this is our training / meeting room that you're in right now.
And boardroom and staff meeting
Oh, yeah.
room and whatever we need this room to be. And when we do CPS Christmas for the children who are in custody for CPS,
Yes.
This is our gathering room for all the Christmas gifts that we do. So this is our multi-purpose room.
Yeah, I guess that's very true. All right, we're gonna go this way.
Yes.
We have two lobbies. Basically, this is our counseling lobby. So we have the social services.
And do come, I have not been away.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah. When they kind of graduate to the next step, it's for counseling, and they're gonna be there waiting on a counselor. Like Sally said, we have 3 of those therapists on staff. As you can see, it's very minimal in here. Well, it's even more minimal with COVID, but it's minimal because anything in here has been court approved. So if a child really gets connected, if they're 3 years old, because we see them from 2 years, 8 months up to age 17. So if they get very connected with this, and this is what's gonna calm them down, and this has been court approved for them to carry with them in the forensic interview. So it's very minimal, but we get to know the children in a very short 5 to 10 minute time about what maybe if they have any type of disabilities. We've spoken to the family 48 hours in advance when we're as an advocate to ask if they have disabilities in speech, hearing, anything, so we can prepare our forensic interviewer. So once the child goes back, I'm going to take you on the path of that, but the families are in here, and that's when we start doing our advocacy with them. If there's another child with them, although we're limiting that because of COVID, but if they had another child with them, then we're going to have an advocate sit with that child while we go back and work with the family. So I'm going to take you on the path that this child would take, and they're going to go down this hallway for their forensic interview. Stop right here so we can kind of see this just a second. Hey Lindsay, would you mind is the equipment on? Would you mind turning it on? Thank you. So everything in the hallway here, we made sure that as the child's passing by here, that they get these positive messages if they're taller and old enough to read. If not, they can connect with this tree in the middle to talk to them about, you know what kind of animal is that? So that we can kind of see, again, we're assessing their speech and disabilities before they come back here to do a forensic interview. So they're getting positive messages on the way back, and they're turning this corner to go back and get their interview done. So if half of you want to go in this room and half come in this room, that's the way we can do it. So we'll say like 4 and 4. Because that camera shows you what's happening in this room right here. How many do we have total? So you can just come this way and go. You guys can come with me in this room. Okay. So they're seeing in that room the same thing that we're seeing in this room. So this is our camera. The microphone's in the ceiling. This is a smart board that was through another grant, so that we can have the child sit here, the interviewer sit here, and they can talk with the child. It's going to be open-ended questions. It's going to be open-ended conversation about what they like to do, who's in their family, who they feel safe with, all of those kind of things. Open-ended conversations. It's not an interrogation. It is an investigation into what are they about and what they want to share. Obviously, it's going to be different for a 3-year-old than it's going to be for a teenager. So a teenager may be more shut down, but 90% of the time the children are going to share with us what they have to say, unless they've been threatened, unless they've been, before they got here, unless there's a reason they're protecting someone. There's a lot of things like that, but most of the time if they get to here, they're probably going to share what's going on. Our interviewer is going to document who's in their family. They're going to write that all down so that the child feels comfortable. It gets to know them in a very quick basis. She lets them know that she said, my friends are watching, just to make sure I don't forget anything. So it's not overwhelming to them to say, I have this and this and this watching. It's more like we know people are watching, but these kind of go away. And if they're little kids, we call this the owl room, just to kind of make them feel more comfortable and make them realize that we're here for 3 things: to make sure they're safe, to make sure they feel heard, make sure they know that we're gonna help in any way we can if there's any way we can do that. And that's what we talk to them about in the lobby before they ever get in here. The room across the hall is the team room where the team sits to watch the actual interview. So you can just come in here, and if two of you want to stay in there, that way they can kind of see what it looks like when you're on camera.
I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is what they're watching for, so you can see, they can see body language very well. They can see what maybe the mood changes, maybe the child walked in like this, but then when they're talking about a certain person, they're like this. Whatever it is that they might be picking up on, oh, he's really just acting the whole thing out. He's got it going on.
Can you change the angle of the camera, or does it stay consistent?
No, this stays consistent.
Gotcha.
It stays
So
consistent.
anything that's put on the whiteboard, we just upgraded that last year, we're very excited about that. If it's written on there, a picture can be taken of the whiteboard and it's put in the child's file. And so prosecution can use that, LE can use that. Anytime they get basic information that the child may want to tell more about than they did in the beginning. So it could be anything from, you know, do you live in a home, do you live in an apartment, do you live in a trailer, and who lives in that home with you. So you have listed all the family members, any friends that live in the home. It's a lot of good information that needs to be captured and can be used in these cases a lot.
And CPS will sit here, law enforcement sits here, youth court prosecutors, FBI, Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, whoever's involved in the cases. We see something we haven't mentioned is we see cases for physical abuse, sexual abuse, drug endangerment. They've witnessed a crime or they've had severe neglect. We also deal with sex trafficking cases and making sure that we've started doing extended interviews when it comes to trafficking cases. They might come here, that might be the exception to them coming here more than one time, because you've got to really break down their barriers of like what they're going on right now, and then get them back here and maybe when they're ready to talk about something. So always bobbing and weaving and changing to make sure that it's fitting with what the child needs and what the case has going on. We also only release the interview on a DVD to the police department for court purposes. So it's not released to CPS or any of the other entities that are here. The hope is that they could use it in court, but we have to see what happens down the road.
I'm familiar with CASA, the court-appointed special advocate.
Uh-huh.
So do you all have that? Is that what your family advocate does?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we would assist them in court. We would make sure that they could go into an empty courtroom to kind of know what that's like, but we also work with the victim advocate coordinator, victim assistant coordinator at the DA's office, because she works directly with them once it gets closer to court as well. But if they need us, they can count on
So
us.
Darlene and Leslie meet on a regular
Yes,
basis to
yes.
kind of keep up with cases and what's going on and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we are making sure as advocates that we're back here to let them know that we do a trauma assessment on a child. We found that kids could come in here as a witness, but yet they've got a lot of mental health issues going on, so we're going to take it one step further and make sure if they need a mobile assessment from somewhere or what it is that they're needing. So we're assessing the entire family, because this is a ripple effect throughout the whole family, and a lot of people think it's just for the child. Yes, we have our eye on the prize, and we know their guardians do as well, but we want to make sure that they know that the whole entire family is receiving services if they need it. If a child gets services and moves from victim to survivor to thriver, but the family doesn't, that's an imbalance. So we want to make sure that everyone's getting what they need.
And something new that we just added, the end of last year, was a parent support group who are parents of children who have been sexually abused, because a lot of times the parents know that they need to show the child love, but they don't know what else they need to do, and they don't feel like there's anybody else that maybe is going through the same thing that they are. And that's been a huge success for us in helping parents learn how to overcome and also become thrivers in this too. So, do you
And
understand?
we're going to also, one more thing I want to say is that they're here one time, if they're here for one interview, but us as advocates follow up with them for a 2-week, a 1 month, a 3 month, a 6 month, a 12. As long as their case is open, we're following their case. It's not just a once and done thing. We're going to make sure we follow what they need.
This is my favorite. Oh, okay. This is our boat room. I'm gonna move that
so you guys can get in.
This is where, our children can come after they've done their forensic interview. And we have in here what we call our button machine. And what the children can do is they can choose a button from any of our doors in here that they may think suits them. Green's my favorite color, so I might choose that one. But they can drop a button in here and make a wish. And what we let them know is this is their wish. They don't have to tell anyone. But we want them to know that these buttons, these buttons, these buttons all represent children who've been right where they have, who've told a story just like they have, and who we've helped here, and we're going to help millions more too. So this is to let them know that they're not alone. There are other children that are just like them, and there are other children who have stood exactly where they have. And you know, that's something that's powerful to me. Before we got these to fill up, because this had gotten to the top, it was amazing to look at this, and it still is amazing to look and see. But when they're all in one place, and you see that that's how many children have come through here and made their own wish for bravery, it's amazing to me. And it's amazing to each child who comes through to know they're not alone. They're not alone in this. So that's exciting. This is a fun room to me. I love this room. It's a happy room. It's a good room. Do you want to say anything else about that?
I was just gonna say, this room's also used as an exit interview room. So police department, child protection service can meet with the families to figure out next steps. So no, they're not gonna share everything a child said, but they're gonna say what they needed for prosecution. Do they need to clarify anything? Do we need to talk about now we understand that the child needs a medical and hasn't had one? What's gonna be next steps? So when they walk in here, a lot of times it's the first time that they have kind of realized what the whole ramifications of what's happening with their child. So it's emotional. It's a happy room, but it's a springboard to what's gonna happen next. It's used for that as
Yes.
well.